Welcome back to another episode of Shatterpoint Puzzles. We have a slightly different format today. Instead of doing 3 small puzzles, we're just going to do one big one. And this puzzle is actually based off of a real-life game situation that I encountered back soon after the game released. So to preface it, we've got Maul activating, and we want to take control of all 3 objectives by the end of the turn. Now, let's go through each objective zone just to be thorough. The back left is the priority objective, and currently there is no one in the vicinity. Back middle, not active, and no one around. Back right is not active, and this Magna Guard is in contesting range. It is unharmed. Mid-left, we've got Kalani and Luminara contesting. It is currently controlled by the Separatists. Kalani has a fair amount of damage on him, and Luminara is doing just fine. There's also an ingress point just north of Kalani. In the very middle, we've got a lot going on. We've got Super Commandos, a wounded Bow, and some B1s who are heavily damaged as well. Both B1 models are engaged with at least one of the Super Commandos, and Bow is engaged with one of the B1s. There's also an ingress point right by these B1s. Mid-right, we've got an unharmed Dooku and the other unharmed Magna, both contesting the point. In the bottom left, we have a couple Clan Krees just hanging out. One is in contesting range of the unactive objective, and they are full health. In the bottom middle, we have Grievous, who is the lone one contesting this middle objective. He has a slight amount of damage on him. Maul is not in contesting range. Kraken is contesting the mid-left objective, but on the lower level. And then on the bottom right, we have no one in contesting range. Django, damaged a bit, just kind of in the middle of no man's land. And there's also an ingress point near that objective. So now that I've given you all the information, you can also check the overlay to see if there's any additional details there. Go ahead, pause the video, and when you're ready, we can go through the solution on how to capture all 3 active objectives with this Maul activation. So for me, the thing I start with is analyzing swing. On the back left, we need 1 swing. On mid left, we need 1. And then on the bottom middle, we need 2, because we need to add 2 bodies or take Grievous off and add 1 body. Maul generally can only add 3 swing. He can kill or shove somebody, he can add his own body, and he can pull someone off of an objective. However, because we have Luminara in the list, if he gets a kill, that will mean someone can dash for that 4th swing. So it is possible from a math perspective to take all these objectives. Looking at the back left point, we have to get a body onto it. No one is going to be in range to dash onto that objective, which means Maul is going to have to be the body that ends up there. I also said earlier that we need to get a wound to generate enough swing, so we probably want to use Maul's lightsaber into Kalani rather than Grievous, because Kalani is going to be much easier to wound. So given all of that, here's the solution I came up with back when I was playing this game. I started by having Maul pull Grievous off of the objective. Then, Maul used a move action to dash because he is engaged with unwounded enemies. He ends still engaged, so I will take 1 more damage to force speed, which is another dash, ends near the ingress point and goes up the ladder. Then, I swung at Kalani, and I chose to use the Sinister Cunning stance. By taking all this damage, we'll get 2 extra dice, so we're looking at 8 dice, a little bit better to swing in melee rather than throw the lightsaber. And as long as we get 2 successes down the tree, we will wound Kalani and get a reposition, which will allow Maul to go onto that back objective. With 8 dice into 3 and Maul's crit generation, 2 is fairly likely down the tree, so we'll assume we get that. That wounds Kalani. Maul uses the reposition to go to the back objective, and we trigger Luminara's identity to dash one of the Clan Krees Mandalorians onto the bottom middle objective. Now, we also trigger Dooku's identity by killing a secondary. However, it's not going to do much. These B1s are engaged with the Super Commandos, so they can't perform a ranged attack against anyone on an objective. If they try to dash to contest against the Clan Kree's Mandalorian, they'll take 2 damage and become wounded. These Magna Guards have no ranged attack, and a dash will not get them into contesting range on any of the active objectives. Hopefully you enjoyed this different format. I think it's useful to broaden out to more in-game solutions where you maybe have to look at a bit more information for the decision-making process. But we'll do a few like this and leave some comments if you like them more or less than the other style of puzzle videos. So until next time, have a good one.